Hey, you guys, it is Desiree Summer, and we are on week 3 of Creating Beauty, and we are learning how to live and create beautiful stories. Yesterday, we talked about how we prove our own stories true and how we build our lives, and it seems maybe pretty distant, but it's really about the stories that we tell and how we drive the action. Today's going to be a super fun story because we get to learn how to actually create a beautiful story and how to turn one that isn't so beautiful into one that is. There's a quote on the worksheet, and I will include that. It's super helpful. Highly recommend you grab it. The quote says that great stories belong to the people who can tell them, right? They happen to the people who can tell them. And I would say that beautiful stories happen to the people who can tell them. That's why this week is so crucial and so important, because if you can learn how to tell a beautiful story about yourself and your life, you can absolutely live it. So let's get into it. And to do that, what I'd love is for you to grab the worksheet that you did yesterday, because we're going to take the facts, that first question about the facts, we're writing them down, and we're going to go ahead and transfer that word for word to our new worksheet. So I think the little fake example I used yesterday was that maybe I had been online dating and a man I really liked who went on several dates. He hasn't spoken to me or responded to my text in 4 weeks. So I would write that exactly down like I did before, which was I liked a man and he hasn't responded in 4 weeks. Just the facts, none of the story. And the reason why we're going to repeat the circumstances from the last one, word for word, is because I think a lot of us have this belief that, when we get to our perfect self or our ideal self, that life won't happen to us, that people will never just be people. They'll never have bad days. We'll never have bad days. Everything will be different. But you can talk to people who are very successful and have that glow and they live those beautiful stories. And you still have bad hair days. Someone can cut you off in traffic still. You can't control the way other people act, but you can certainly control the way you react to them, and you can make sure that they don't drive a negative story. And I'm going to prove that to you with this worksheet. All right? So once you've written down the circumstances, again, word for word, I want you to do something that's going to be a little uncomfortable, right? I want you to imagine that the same thing has happened to you, but that I have given you brain surgery and I have physically taken out the part of your brain that can think this story and believe it, and I've removed it. And now you're not even able to think that thought, to think those stories. Even more than that, though, I have gone in and I have cauterized that whole area, and now you are not even able to have a negative story about yourself. I want you to imagine the same thing happens, and I just want you to come up with as many different versions of the story that you could make from those events. I want you to brainstorm a list. So for instance, if I was brainstorming a list about this man not speaking to me for 4 weeks, I might think, maybe he's just a jerk. Maybe he does this to everyone. It has nothing to do with me. And thank goodness I dodged a bullet, right? Maybe I might think, maybe he has a boyfriend, girlfriend, and he was just playing online. I've certainly heard of that happening before. Again, maybe I dodged a bullet. And I might think, there were things I didn't really like about him. Maybe he was kind of a snob to the waiters, and I didn't think that was a big enough deal to dump him for. But on the other hand, it would be really nice not to have to deal with him and that. Maybe there's someone even better and more in line with what I like. I'm going to continue on here, but I want to make a note. If you're a really positive person and you don't like having negative thoughts about other people, for this brainstorm, do it anyways. I'm not going to ask you to believe that story or repeat it. It's just for your eyes. But I want you to brainstorm as many different stories as you can find, just to prove to yourself that this could mean so many different things depending on who is telling that story. Right? So going back to mine, a few more things, just so you have some examples. I might think that maybe the universe just has someone so much better. He's not my guy. The universe has my back. Projection is protection. It's not the same. And so that's why this happened. It's actually all working out for me. So you get the idea. You're going to go through and just list as many of the stories as you can. You don't have to believe any of them. The point is to brainstorm the stories. Then I want you to imagine if you did believe these different stories, how that would feel in your body, right? I want you to close your eyes again, get still, and be like, so if I did think that it was really a him problem, and not a me problem, and that there was someone better for me, and that this happened for me, how does that feel in my body? Yeah, you know what? Instead of collapsing like I was last time, now I can feel my chest lift, and it feels like I have more energy, right? I don't feel depressed or despondent. I feel really hopeful. Yeah, in fact, it kind of makes me laugh because it's kind of a fun thing that this is happening and that I think someone better is going to come along makes it like a game, a fun game. Like, what's next? Right? So I want you to get still, get into your body, and tell me how these new beliefs would feel if you did believe them. And you don't have to believe them. Just use your imagination. Once you've done that, you're going to go back and you're going to imagine that feeling and how that might drive different actions than you took before in your other worksheet. If you really believe these stories and you really felt, for me, it was energetic and hopeful and like this is fun, how would you, what actions, how would you go about your day? What would you do? What would you not do? So for me, I think I would have a little sparkle and a little like pep in my step because I feel like I'm on this delicious adventure and I don't know what's going to come next, right? I think I would dress up maybe even more and be more bold. Whereas before I was like, oh, maybe I don't even put on the nice stuff because I'm depressed. Now I'm overjoyed, I'm really excited, this is going to be fun. Maybe I flirt more. Maybe I go out with my girlfriends more just to have fun because why not? It's not like I'm waiting for my life to begin. I know things are coming in place. Instead of going back to my ex-boyfriend, maybe I block this guy because I'm like, there's something better. And I block my ex-boyfriend so that he can't get in touch with me because I know he's bad for me. So that's what you're going to do. Go through and figure out how many different steps you would take, right? And how that's different from what you did before. Now, once you've done that and you've made this list of all the actions you would take, you would not go for the ice cream. Maybe you choose something healthy, blah, 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 down and down. I want you to look at those actions and ask yourself, what is the net result of you if you took those actions? And particularly, are you now disproving your original story true? So if I think about it, well, if I am going out and I'm having fun and I'm showing up and I'm more sparkly and maybe I am reaching for the healthy food because I feel good, I don't need the ice cream, and I'm not hiding and I'm not going back to my ex, then yeah, I am disproving my old story that he rejected me and then I'll be single forever. I'm disproving that story. And I also want you to see, like, what would the net result be if you did that long term? Are you closer? Is it more probable that you can get something that you wanted or less? And you can see in the example I gave you, yeah, if I'm showing up and I'm having fun and I'm flirting and I'm dressing up and I'm going back online to look for dates, then I'm probably more likely than not to get closer to finding a partner. And I'm probably having more fun, so the result is better after all. So that's what I want you to do there. And then what I would love for you to do is just to ask yourself, even if you don't believe any of these stories yet, is there any part of this new feeling, this new process, these new stories that is a relief compared to your old story? Is there any part of it that is good? And maybe there's not. Maybe for you, there's no part of it, but I'm guessing there is, right? And then I want you to go ahead and just notice that and take that forward, right? So we've done a lot of work today, and tomorrow I'm going to show you how to put this into practice. But what you've done, hopefully, as you've done this process, is you've realized that by telling a different story, and by simply not telling your old story, you change everything. You change the way you feel, and then you change all the actions you take, and you end up proving a new thing true, right? And so just knowing that can give you a lot of sense of hope and a sense of where you want to go. So do the worksheet, and tomorrow I'll show you how to put into practice your beautiful story. I will see you guys soon. Bye.